We are live. Welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 7, Dead Weight. The episode, is rated TV MA. So will this video be. Like all other videos I've done on the show so far. Absolutely love this episode. There will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. Let's dive right in. So, yeah, really great to see more of what the old governor has been up to since we last saw him, and this episode does indeed close with him approaching, standing outside the prison where we saw him at the very end of, let's see, I guess episode 5, I think? Yeah, okay, so I really love the non-linear editing with the chess game, and then, Megan, and then, Brian being, rescued from the pit. The way that it'll, like there was a little bit there where I wasn't sure if maybe he got out despite, the others rather than with their help. And the thing about, it's important to think before you make your move, but eventually you do have to make your move, and that's, of course, it's in part, it's good advice if you're teaching someone chess, but it's also, she's like, I made my move, and he's like, I'm thinking. He's telling the audience he's going to make his move, just not immediately, And by the end of the episode, he certainly has. Okay, so let's see, them going out for supplies was really great. The thing of, they come across multiple bodies, and let's see, you have the at first they find 2 beheaded bodies, and then they find the beheaded heads not very long after finding murderer. It's liar, rapist, murderer, and it seems like maybe murderer is because they murdered the other 2 as to protect the family or something like that, and then really creepy. That was Walker stuff inside the cabin in the woods. Great movie, by the way. And using the what's it called, flashlight as brute forcing to death and let's see, what's the other thing? Finding beers and then sitting down and drinking. And very, I quite appreciated the backstory we got. Let's see, and saving bullets by using that was what I was. I'm trying to not just summarize. The flashlight, good way to save bullets and avoid attracting other walkers. Let's see, I think. Right, really liked seeing, I would butcher his name, so I'm just gonna say he was also on Agent Carter. He's great here and there. I guess I might not get to see him on more of this show unless, I don't know, flashbacks or something, but let's see. The thing about, what did you do before this? I drove an ice cream truck. And for like a second, I'm like, is he just fucking with them, or what is he? But then he does say, yeah, and then, you know, military, and yeah, he just loves the vehicle that he, you know, started using, is still using, and yeah, I mean, I hear they are a lot of fun. There's a reason they call it a tank of gas. Yeah, right, the Tara and Alicia. So, M4, okay. I mean, if you want to be really, really careless about it, I mean, that thing jams up, as you know, and Lily doesn't even have to go Tara this time because Alicia does it for her. You know, she's like, "Are you always this full of shit?" And I love Lily's, like, you know, chuckle as like, and you know, the confidence of Tara's like, "Yes, I am." Just yeah. That was a fun bit of flirting. You know, no wonder that they immediately get together. And I do appreciate also Alicia was in the car when, you know, Pirate Brian thought that he'd be able. The autofocus is losing it, and there we go. There's back. Let's see. Yeah. You know, when he thinks they can drive away from there, that was also really effective. Love that one zombie that, like, is missing a bunch of its face, like the skin is gone, so you just see muscle and tissue. Very nicely done there. One of the best zombie designs of the show so far. And yeah, it's like, I mean, they can't go around the walkers there. They can't, you know, like, even if they killed every single walker there, what are they gonna do? Just drive over them? The car's gonna get stuck. We've seen, you know, that happen with less zombies at, you know, one place at a time. Let's see. Yeah. Unreal that he actually fucking turned his back on Brian. He really did think, you know, it's water over the bridge or under the brook or wherever you'd like it. Yeah, just there's no way that Brian is. You abandon him. Like, he's not gonna just let that. Yeah. And just, yeah, the shock on his face when Governor just, you know, hits him, you know, gets him off the vehicle, the top of the vehicle, drags him over to the pit and just pushes him in, just like, yeah. And it's again this thing of, you know, he probably does blame, you know, the other guy for himself ending up, for Brian ending up in the pit. So, you know, he thinks this is like justice or something. And yeah, you know, of course, it seems to the others, oh, he must have been too drunk, slipped and fallen into the pit, you know. And yeah, I mean, there were witnesses who saw he could barely stand. And let's see, I think part of what makes it so brutal is also the relative slowness of it. You know, it's not like just one hit and then he's dead and then he throws him in the pit for good measure. He hits him hard enough in the head that he can't really put up much of a fight, and like rolls him off the top. I think, you know, shoves something like that off the top of the vehicle, and then drags him over. Like, it takes several seconds to get him to the pit, and then several seconds where he's just like close enough to the walkers that he knows he's done for, that Brian isn't gonna change his mind all of a sudden. But yeah, several seconds before he goes in, and at that point he dies pretty quickly. They kill him fairly quickly. And the other supply run, just the Mitch is like, well, I mean, we can take these people out and take their supplies, and then, you know, not long after, it's like, well, our traps didn't yield very much, and then it's like, oh, somebody else killed them, you know. And yeah, of course, Mitch is like, that could have been us. We could have had the supplies. You know, they ended up dead anyway. You know, what's his name? no, his brother, Pete, fuck, Mitch's brother, yeah. You know, he's like, we can't, no, that's not okay, you know, and the governor's like, I don't give a shit what you did to the old man. What the fuck? Like, why are we even talking about, you know, he doesn't even really understand. Like, he understands that he has to fake it in front of some people. Like, he didn't say that when Mitch's brother heard. And yeah, you know, finishing off the old guy was also really just like, yeah, really unpleasant to watch, and a fucked up thing. Yeah. I think, right, I really like the thing about, you know, no dead weight, you know, and he later does say, you know, I wouldn't have pulled you out of the pit if not for Megan, you know, but yeah, he doesn't apologize for abandoning him. He essentially almost says, you were useless at the time. If you're gonna be used, let's see, Lily, you know, was like the healer, and just, yeah. I think that might just about right, just briefly, as far as I know, yeah, I think what Tara said about the M4 is complete bullshit. I'm pretty sure it's actually very dependable. You know, it is a military weapon. You know, I have a lot of issues with the military, but sometimes, not all the time, depends on how much money contractors want to make, but some of the time, the stuff they have, you know, is really state-of-the-art. Let's see, yeah, when Mitch's brother says, you know, he's going to be leader now, and you know, someone points out we should have a vote. You know, this isn't just, yeah, and again, we have that conflict between, you know, democracy and, you know, because I don't think Mitch's brother really, like, obviously Brian thinks he doesn't go too far enough, but I don't think he would have been like this vicious dictator. I think he would have tried to do what's best. And he probably thinks, and I don't know that he's necessarily right, and obviously I think, you know, democracy is the way to go whenever it is at all possible. But I can imagine he's probably worried that, you know, what if everyone votes and they can't settle on one person? You know, what if everybody, what if there's like 4 or 5 different people that the vote is basically evenly split between? Nobody has like an overwhelming majority, you know, what then? You know, so yeah. Really messed up when, you know, yeah, Tara points out this isn't right, and Mitch, like, yeah, I'm not gonna repeat his words, but yeah, that was fucked up. And I really do appreciate, like, Tara doesn't like back off. She's there, like, in his face until, I think it's Mitch's brother who's like, let's you know, just let's go, or something along those lines, you know, because she is not, and Lily is also like, what the fuck did you just say to my sister, motherfucker? You know, just like, not those exact words, but like, yeah, she's not okay with this. I think, yeah, the tag, I love how this show is able to go between, so smoothly transition between something that's kind of heartwarming and then something that's fucking horrifying, because, like, you know, she walks up to Tara's like, Tag, you're it, and Tara's like, little missy, I have to be an adult, I'm keeping watch, and, you know, she surreptitiously gets out the gun and hands it to was that Alicia, maybe? It was someone else just standing there, you know, and then she's like, oh, Tag, now you're it, and then runs up, like, just, yeah, so, yeah, just love the fun and energy. You know, she really does need to meet up with Michonne. They can exchange notes on how to be a fun aunt. that was also great. They're at the end at seeing, Michonne, and with a big smile on her face, and it's like she's not smiling because you took your fucking eye, dude. But obviously he doesn't see. He's just like, how dare she be happy? That's not just and the farming of the Grimes. Let's see. I think that does. I feel like there's something. Right. Oh, fuck. After Tara agrees to play tag, Megan thinks, oh, I found someone I can play tag with. They're hiding, and runs up, tag, you're it, and it's a fucking Walker, and it's like, oh no, you don't want to play tag with a Walker. They're way too slow, although they are fairly determined, so it's a hit and miss. I was slightly unsure, was that supposed to be Mitch's brother? Because, like, they make it a point to show that Mitch's brother has, he's like chained underwater by his ankle, and this one has a fucked up ankle, and it's right there in the camp. It's the only one we see in the camp. Other than that, they have to leave and walk or drive a little bit of ways before they come across any walkers. So I can't help but wonder, because eventually the water's gonna, the chain is only gonna work as long as his ankle is not too thin, and underwater and like decomposing otherwise already. Given enough time. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's Brian hasn't really changed. That's the kind of thing that he would, back when he ran Woodbury, he would, like, cut off heads and keep them in a room. Now he's putting the guy underwater. He can't really hide having, cut off heads from the others. It's a bit of a Dexter Morgan kind of situation, really. How do you hide this kind of thing if you have a family? Let's see. Yeah. Also, like, Tara, she keeps, she's trying to hold on by the fucked up ankle, and eventually just slips out of her hands, and she, she looks really devastated. Like, she probably feels like, that it would be her fault, that if Megan had died, and it got real close. I was genuinely worried that the Walker was gonna get to her and maybe infect her. And I don't know, how close is Rick? He's fond of shooting little zombie girls. But yeah, that was also, that helped solidify, okay, they probably have a decent level of trust for Brian by now. The people of the camp, Lily and Tara already did, and Megan. And also so fucked up that afterwards, like, there's blood on Megan's face, because the Walker was so close to her when he was shot in the fucking head. I think that might be... I'm not 100% certain if there's, like, a deeper meaning or something to the cigarette, other than it's just, like, a power move, because he's like, I quit. Yeah, okay, so smoke, Yeah. He might as well be telling me this is a tasty fucking burger. But the, good backstory with the thing of, smoking a cigarette, as a teenager with his brother, and the brother tried to stop it, but, the brother took the brunt, but not the entire beating. And that was also a great, the thing with Megan, with, was your dad, the thing, my dad never let me, win at chess, which is also, part of why he's so determined and so tactically minded. He, like, on some level in his mind, he is still that boy being beaten by his father if he is not extremely careful and tactical. But yeah, yeah, was your dad mean to you? Sometimes. Were you bad? Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes he's bad. You know, swings and roundabouts. And yeah, am I bad? And it's like, God, this poor little girl. Did I mention, by the way? I think I forgot to mention in the video before this one that I did the video I did on the episode before this one. Apparently, this is the first acting that she's done. Like, amazing performance. Like, this show is so good at finding kid actors that just, yeah. I don't think there's been a single bad child actor on the show so far, and they've had like a bunch by now. I don't know, 7 or 8 total, I think, of like ones that had like lines and yeah. And the thing of why would you think you're bad? Because my dad was always mean to me. It's just, I'm glad that she now has a father that she feels comfortable around, that is going to protect her, but it's the fucking governor, and he's gonna, oh my god. Just, yeah. Let's see. Okay. I mean, on a show that's gonna take Carol's daughter away from her, such a good person, yeah, I am worried about Megan. I think that might just about cover. I feel like there's something. Let's see. Right. Also, yeah, the fact that when he goes to talk to Mitch's brother, he's like, we got to talk, and he's like, about Mitch, because he genuinely thinks they're on the same page. He thinks, look, I know my brother's kind of a fuck up. I've been protecting him for so long. I don't know. We got to think of something, because it is not okay that he is like, talking about how we should just kill and rob other survivor camps, and killing a survivor who very well could have made it. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been protecting him for so long, and then I just get stabbed in the back by you. Oh man, this is such a pain in the neck.